and welcome to the Wellness Connection. On today's interview, we have actually a great friend of mine who I have some history with. We actually went to high school together in Maryland and
Long time ago.
okay, well, kind of a long time ago,
Yeah.
yes, and have somehow found ourselves together here in small town Floyd, Virginia, which is actually quite a treat. So we've got Bill Bouvier with us today, who is the manager.
The general manager.
The general manager of Hotel Floyd, which is our amazing, super eco-friendly hotel here that we're going to talk some about. So I'm really excited because this gives me an opportunity to catch up with him a little and find out what he's been doing and learn about this amazing hotel we have. So thanks for joining us
My
today.
pleasure.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit first about you. What have you been doing and how in the world did you find your way to Floyd?
Well, it's the way I found my way to Floyd was with my hotel career, and I got into that as you probably would have predicted, knowing me in high school, that at 28 I was a no job having moving back in with my parents loser, and I didn't really have any prospects. So a friend of mine told me about a hotel in Baltimore that was hiring, and I went and applied, and they hired me, and it was just an entry level position. And the first time I stepped out behind the front desk, I was like, wow, this is what I was born to do. And I just knew it was what I was supposed to do. And within 6 months, I was promoted to assistant front office manager. And I was employee of the month. And then I was recruited to be the front office manager at the Hotel Hershey. And I just went from there.
Kept on going.
Yeah. And so the way we wound up in Floyd, actually, is I met my wife, Mara, through the hotel business. We actually worked at the same hotel. She hired me. Yeah, and she got she got recruited to be the general manager at Primland.
Oh, lovely.
And that's how we moved here, and we've been here about 3 years.
Wonderful.
So that's how it happened.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about Hotel Floyd. I'm kind of familiar with it. I know it's like super green, super wonderful, super amazing. But tell me a little bit about the hotel and how it works and the concept behind it. And
Well, the hotel was built by Jack Wall and Kamala Bowers, who own Wall Residences here, a local company that essentially helps people with developmental challenges reassimilate back into the real world.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what their core business is. But they both are transplants. They love Floyd.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see it grow as a tourism destination. So they originally built the hotel 14 rooms back in 2007 because there really wasn't any place for tourists to stay when they came to the town. And Jack and Kamala were really about sharing the town that they love with people.
Okay.
So they operated it as a small 14-room hotel until just recently, and in June this past year, or actually this year, we opened an additional 24 rooms.
Wow, double
plus the
capacity.
Double plus. Plus we have two pet-friendly suites, so for a total of 40 rooms.
Wow.
And it's what we call in the business, it's an upscale, near-luxury, limited service, which just means that all the stuff is really nice, but there's no food and beverage, so there's no restaurant, and then you don't have like valet parking and bellman and stuff like that you would have at more of a luxury resort. So we call it near luxury, which just means it's really nice, but it lacks some of the services that a full luxury resort would have.
Wonderful.
And they're super committed to their green philosophy.
Yes.
It's really neat because I've worked at a lot of hotels, and every hotel says that they're green. That's like the buzzword.
It's the buzzword.
Yeah, we all say we're green.
Right.
But Jack and Kamala really live it. You know, I get yelled at on a regular basis we were looking at new amenities for the rooms, and we currently use amenities that come in a biodegradable package, which makes it super nice. And they're not tested on animals, and they're all done sustainably. Yeah, it's terrific. Well, at any rate, I found some other amenities that were significantly cheaper. And had all of the same qualities, except for the packaging wasn't biodegradable, it was recyclable. Yeah. Even though it's cheaper, Kamala said no go.
No go.
The biodegradable is super important to her.
Wow.
She said if I wanted to investigate setting up a dedicated recycling for the amenity process, but in the long run it would just wind up being probably more in labor than a savings. And we like our products; they work for us, so that's what we're doing.
Awesome.
So
awesome. What a lot of thought and care that goes into, even at that level of detail, to just really be committed to being eco-friendly and environmentally friendly. That's awesome and
Yeah.
rare, I have to imagine.
And it's not only that. Each room has its own air conditioning and heating unit. It's individually controlled thermostat, so you can go into your room and you can set your thermostat, but there's actually a motion sensor in the room that senses when you leave. It's over the door, and it shuts everything off when you leave.
Wow.
So it's not using energy to keep it cool or to keep it warm during the winter. In addition to that, I can get onto our climate control system on the web, and I can tell if a room is occupied based on the climate control setting, and I can also adjust the thermostat right from my desk.
Wow.
To make sure that we're not using a lot of electricity, or make sure that nothing weird is going on
Yeah.
up there, and just
Awesome.
sort of keep tabs on the system. We have solar panels that provide, on a nice day like this, if the air conditioner is not running too hard, probably provides about 40% of our power.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. Are there
Super
other
cool.
hotels out there like this? I mean, is this kind of a state-of-the-art, cutting-edge sort of thing, or at this level too?
Yeah. I mean, in a small town like this, it's definitely state of the art.
Yeah.
There are probably hotels in California, Palm Springs, LA, that sort of thing that practice green. There's a certification called LEED certification that
Okay.
some people might be familiar with, that certifies all buildings, not just hotels, as environmentally
Okay.
friendly. And there are those types of buildings. Even in this area, Primland is a LEED certified
Okay,
building.
wonderful.
We're not LEED certified because it's an extraordinary expensive process to go through. And not only that, but it doesn't necessarily ensure that the hotel truly is being operated in
Right.
an eco-friendly
Okay.
manner.
Okay.
So each hotel is different, but there are some of us out there that care about the environment and want to see it exist for our kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to see it last beyond this generation
Right.
with the next one.
I mean, I don't really like my daughter that much,
Oh,
but
yeah, if she's going to be here. you
Yeah,
may
she might as well have a world to live in. So.
Absolutely. So you've got one daughter?
I have one
Child?
daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, one
And
daughter.
How old?
She is just turned 20.
Uh-huh.
Just had a birthday 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
yeah, she just turned 20. She's off at Haywood Community College right outside of Asheville
Okay.
in their textile design program. So
Lovely.
she's an artist. She'll probably come back to Floyd.
Great place
And
for her.
yeah, exactly. She's currently right now weaving a blanket, and she sent some pictures, and it's
Lovely.
pretty cool. We're kind of
Yeah,
proud. She's
yeah.
pretty talented.
Nice. And
Yeah.
not too far away either.
No, 3.5 hours. We can make it down there.
Great.
So, yep.
Great. Awesome. Now, you've been doing this for a while. So here in the States and other places,
Mhm.
other countries?
Yep. Yeah, I've been probably in the hotel business for going on 20 years. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
And
It's good. If you're good at it,
yeah,
it's okay.
and it's been great to me. I've been able to live all over, well, not all over the world, but all over this hemisphere. I mean, I went from Baltimore, where I started, up to the Hotel Hershey. From there, I went out to Santa Barbara. I worked in Santa Barbara for a while. Worked in San Francisco, worked at the Central Coast, like San Luis Obispo, Morro Bay, that area.
Nice, yeah.
It's a beautiful area. From there, we went to Miami. I worked at a corporate headquarters for a company called Island Outpost, which is owned by Chris Blackwell, who's the guy that discovered Bob Marley.
Oh,
He
wow.
owned Island Records.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
then my wife and I went to Jamaica and managed a resort called Strawberry Hill.
What a hard life.
It was very hard, very hard. And we actually I've had dinner with Bob Marley's mother.
Wow.
Yeah, really
Nice.
super cool. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get a lot of fun, a lot of travel, a lot of exposure doing this.
Yes.
Very
I do.
nice, very nice. So all of this, world hopping, hotel managing, directing kind of thing that you're doing has got to take a lot of time
It does.
for you.
Mhm.
Especially, coming into a new environment and really kind of feeling it out and getting it to where you want it to be.
Right.
How do you manage? How do you keep yourself well and sane as you're, bringing these hotels up to speed and up to par where you want them to be?
Well, one of the things and please never tell Jack and Kamala this. Jack and Kamala, turn your TV off right now. Is that I really love what I do, and I would actually do it for free.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
Yeah, I really would. So when you can go to a job, when you pop out of bed in the morning and are eager to get to where you're going, that in and of itself is wellness that, you know, a lot of people will just never have
Will
in
never
their life.
have. Yeah.
You know, so it really centers me. And of course, there are days that you hate, and there's stresses and everything.
Yeah.
But that sort of baseline that I can just get out of bed and really want to go to work, never dread it. I get up before my alarm every day.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
And aside from that, I make sure and I carve out time for myself. I have I work with, I do a little bit of pheasant hunting with Primlin, so I have a bird dog, and one
Okay.
of the things I really love to do is train with her. And it's, you know, that's not anything that has to be on a schedule. Whether I get home tonight at 5 p.m. or whether I get home at 9:30, I can grab Dolly and we can go out in the field next to the house and we can work for an hour.
Nice.
And it just brings me back down and it relaxes me, and so you know it just sort of all meshes together.
Comes together. And that's great that you take the time, because we don't make time, but that you take the time and just make it a seamless part of your life.
Yep.
That these things I know I need to do to stay balanced and to keep my feet grounded and not get too, you know, crazed with
Right.
what work is about. Even though you love work, finding that balance outside of
Yep.
work and just making it seamless
Yeah,
is
and
important.
yeah, and I always make sure I take the same 2 days off every week. My wife and I take the same days off so we can spend time together.
Nice.
And we like to sail, and we like car shows. My wife is really starting to get interested in vintage cars, which
Ooh.
is actually kind of cool.
Nice.
So
Do you have your dog that you do some hunting with and sailing? Other practices or things that you do to really help with your wellness, making sure you get sleep, eat well, other exercise?
I'm not very good at dieting. So
Most people are not.
Yeah. So I try and make healthy choices. My wife is a vegetarian, so I always sort of have that influence, even though I eat meat. So I always have healthy choices around. So I try and just stay balanced. And I don't punish myself. If I
Good.
decide to have a pizza, then I just have a pizza, and then for the next few days I just eat clean.
Yeah.
And you know, I just do that sort of thing. I don't exercise on a regular basis because with my schedule it can be tough to find time to get to the gym and everything.
Yeah.
So when I'm training Dolly, I'll run with her and
Yeah.
I get worked up that way. When I when I work on the boat, I'll take a swim and I'll swim for an hour or so and get my exercise that way. So I try and just sort of fold that all in and make it part of my lifestyle again. And I'm really big on not doing things I dread.
Yes. So important.
So, yeah,
so
it is.
important.
So I just try and find things I like. I still play lacrosse. I play in a men's league in Greensboro every Wednesday night.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I do that, and we played against some college kids the other day, and they
Ooh.
killed us. They killed us. I cannot believe how old I am.
It became very apparent
Yes,
all of a
it
sudden.
did, it
I am
did,
not
yeah.
in high school anymore.
Nope.
Nice,
So, yeah.
nice. Well, I think it's great though, and I think you make such a good point that, you know, a lot of people when they think about wellness and exercise and how they're going to incorporate, it becomes one more arduous thing to do.
Yep.
And really it doesn't have to be. It can just be running with the dog or taking a swim while you're in the water anyway, you know, with the boat, just working it into what you're already doing.
Right.
And I think sometimes people are getting more exercise than they think they are because, again, they think exercise in the gym,
Right.
you know, or I've got to go mountain biking or something when they're out gardening for 4 hours.
Right. Pushing
That's
that
work.
lawnmower.
That's work.
You know,
Yeah.
exactly.
that is real work. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you just
so.
can't punish yourself if you don't get it done that
No.
day, because then it becomes a negative thing. And so I
Exactly.
celebrate when I do it, and I feel like, wow, I've really worked up a sweat. I feel good. And if I miss it tonight, like today's a big day for me, and I'll probably throw my dog's toy from a chair
Right.
when I get home.
But
I'm
your
not.
arm is
Yeah,
still
exactly.
working out.
But I won't beat myself up about
Right.
it because I know tomorrow morning at 6:30 we're going to go for a run because she'll want to.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Moderation is definitely key. And I always say guilt is a bad motivator. So
Horrible, yeah.
Yes, absolutely so. So tell me what's on the horizon for you, for the hotel. What's coming up? What new fun things are happening?
Well, we've got some really exciting stuff going on with the hotel. With the new addition, we just opened a conference center that'll do about between 100 and 180 people, depending on how we set the room.
Beautiful.
So I'm working in close conjunction with Floyd Eco Village, which Jack and Kamala also own, trying to bring some meetings and some bigger groups into the town of Floyd.
Okay.
So that focus is really taken a lot of my time. In addition, the Hotel Floyd never really took advantage of any sort of outside travel agent help, and by that I mean like Expedia, Orbitz.com.
Yeah.
You've probably seen the commercials for Booking.com.
Yes.
So right now we're getting hooked up with all those to try and
lovely.
bring more people and more revenue for the hotel, of course, but also more people in the shops and everything in the town.
Nice.
And the neat thing, we just started with Booking.com, and we're having a tremendous amount of success, and 50% of our visitors that book through Booking.com right now are from outside of the United States. So
Wow.
we're bringing in the international traveler to Floyd.
Wonderful.
Floyd's going big time.
Floyd's going big time. If you can imagine,
So
we might get 2 stoplights, right?
Yeah.
No,
So
it
that's
could
what
happen.
we're doing, and we're just sort of working out policies and procedures for a larger hotel. We've just installed a new computer system, and just doing all those things to make Floyd or the Hotel Floyd just run like a spinning top.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, and my wife and I love the area, so there's really no desire to leave, no leaving on the future or on the horizon.
Yeah.
But it's the hotel business, so you don't stay in one place forever. But
Right.
we'll stay as long as they'll have me.
All right,
Yeah.
very good. I have the feeling they're going to keep you around for a while.
We'll see.
Yeah. And one more question
Sure.
with regard to the hotel and kind of its paradigm and construct and building and being really sustainable. I mean, that's got to be.
You didn't know paradigm when we were in high school.
No,
that's a big word.
that's college stuff. Post college stuff
Right.
I've learned.
Right.
How does building a hotel with that eco-friendly feeling in mind really support wellness kind of in that community environmental global kind? Because I got to imagine as I remember looking at the hotel and when it first was built, I know they do like geothermal heating and that
we
kind
do.
of thing. So it's got to be not, the carbon footprint thing. It can't be a lot of that going on. So
Right.
it has to be a sustainable sort of a good thing for the environment that we
Yeah.
want to leave nicely for
Yeah,
our kids.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, it really is. It's been really well received by our guests. We don't do some of the things that are sort of you really expect when you go into, like if you went into a Hampton Inn in Richmond, you'd go into their breakfast area and you'd see all the cool breakfast stuff that we have, but you'd also see bottled water.
right.
We don't have bottled water. And so we'll get a request from a guest, and as soon as I explain the fact that not only do we say the hotel is eco-friendly, but we walk the walk,
Right.
the guest is immediately fine with it, and it gives us sort of this higher level of credibility. And that's something we really strive to do, is we try to make decisions every day based on the sustainability and the eco-friendliness of the hotel.
Yeah.
We ordered coffee the other day from Stewart, and they sort of got it out late, and it just didn't work out. And the guy wanted to jump in his pickup truck and drive up the mountain, and we said, no, put it on the delivery truck. That way you're not taking another trip using the gas. And
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Yeah.
So even the little things we really try, and we're not perfect. We do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, all of the whole management team and all the staff are really doing their job with the environment in mind every day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That it really does run through the fiber of the whole hotel and all of the people who are responsible for its running and keeping that well-oiled
Yeah.
machine
And
going.
that comes right from Jack and Kamala. That's their vision.
Yeah.
That's what they want. We've all bought into it, but if it weren't for them driving the bus, that bus wouldn't exist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank goodness for the bus, and
Yeah,
thank
right.
goodness that you're here.
I couldn't be, I don't want to be anyplace else. I
That's
love
good.
this place.
Well, we don't
Yeah.
want you to be anyplace else. We want you to hang out here with us for a while.
I will.
Well, wonderful. Well,
Yep.
sometime we'll have to get over and shoot some film and footage of the hotel and just kind of get some
Oh,
pictures
that'd be
of
great.
it.
Yep.
That'd be great. And we'd love to have you back if you've got some other special stuff happening.
If I come up with something, I'll let you know.
Or we'll make something up just so we can hang out again.
That's what I do.
That'd be great.
Okay, great.
That'd be
Thanks,
great.
Lenise.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Hi, today on Well with Elle, I'm going to give you the skinny on fats. Fats have been getting a bad rap for far too long now. I mean, they're getting blamed for everything from weight gain to cardiovascular disease. The truth of the matter is, for most people, fat is not the problem. For everybody out there, fat is actually a vital nutrient, really important for your health, just like carbohydrates and protein are. Fats are needed for proper function of your nervous system, your brain. They're also needed for healthy skin and absolutely essential to absorb vitamins that are fat soluble. It's the only way you're going to get them in your system. So what's all the fuss about? Well, to be fair, there are some fats that are maybe not so good for you. Things like trans fats, you've heard of those. Fats that have been hydrogenated and have been linked to some causes of cancer. Also, some vegetable oils might not be the healthiest choices, like corn oil or canola or even soy oils. The reason that these fats might not be so good for you is that, well, vegetables are not naturally high in fat. And so the amount of processing that it takes to get the oil out of those is super, super huge. On top of that, processing vegetables into oils requires a significant amount of chemical interaction to get the oils extracted and to make the oil shelf stable. Not necessarily a good combination where health is concerned. Despite the bad rap, including healthy fats in your diet has amazing health benefits for you. Things like stabilizing cholesterol, lowering cardio disease risk, appetite satiety, protecting your arteries, nourishing your nervous system, and helping you again to absorb and metabolize fat-soluble nutrients. So, what fats do you include in your diet? Well, healthy fats like olive oil, extra virgin's always good. Good sources of peanut oil, or even healthy nuts and avocados provide wonderful sources of healthy fat in your diet. Also, there are some saturated fats that are really good for you, like coconut oil, one of my favorites that has hundreds and hundreds of health benefits. We've been on the low-fat to no-fat diet craze for what I think is far too long now. And interestingly enough, this low-fat diet craze corresponds to an increase in overweight, obesity, and some cancers. Remember, whenever there's low fat, always look for more sugar, more refined carbs, more calories, and more chemicals. Because we all know the taste of the food is in the fat, and the taste has to come from somewhere. Now, there's no one size fit all where fat is concerned. Some people need more, some people need less in their diet. So how do you figure it out? My recommendation is work with a nutritionist that can help you determine what's right for you. Bottom line, fat really doesn't make you fat. It's a necessary nutrient for health and vitality. So make sure you get some good fat in your diet. Saturated fat, is it really the enemy? For so many years now, the prevailing thought has been that saturated fat promoted or caused heart disease. I mean, we've heard this so often that for most of us, we just assume that there must be mountains of research proving that this is actually the case. Well, guess what? It's mostly just a theory. Now, more and more research is coming to light that's suggesting something totally different. And it's pretty exciting. There was a study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine that cited, beyond a reasonable doubt, saturated fat does not cause heart attacks or other cardiac events. In fact, the study went on to cite what the real culprit of many of these chronic and debilitating diseases are. And are you ready? Guess what it is? Sugar. That's right. Excess refined carbohydrates in the diet are the primary cause, or at least one of the primary causes, of heart disease in America and for everyone. Contrary to popular belief, some saturated fats are actually healthy for you. Saturated fats for some people can actually help to regulate cholesterol levels. And for some people, saturated fats can actually even increase the amount of HDL. Now, remember, HDL, that's the good stuff. Now, do saturated fats increase LDL? Yep, sometimes they do. But here's the kicker. Apparently not all LDL is the same. Who's ever heard that before? The LDL that is often increased by saturated fats is actually an LDL that is pretty benign and generally doesn't cause problems. On the other hand, research has shown that sugar decidedly increases the type of LDL that does cause arterial plaquing, inflammation, and elevates triglycerides. Now, this isn't a license to go overboard and just start eating all the fat that you want. As always, it's best to work with a nutritionist or a health professional that can help you understand the right amount of dietary fat to put into your diet. But perhaps it's a wake-up call, and perhaps it's time that we start looking at an old thing a new way. Maybe, just maybe, saturated fat isn't the enemy after all.